The film opens with a 19-year-old boy named Tob sitting across from a banker, asking for a loan to build a factory. The banker, unconvinced, tells him to say something impressive. Tob responds by handing over a phone number, the number to his own business, and begins to explain how it all started. Back when he was just 12, Tob was already trading virtual items in online games. One day, a customer offered him 300 Singapore dollars for a single in-game item. Tob saw the opportunity and negotiated it up to 500. That single moment opened the door to a steady stream of income. With time, he earned enough to buy a brand new car, all in cash. At the dealership, the salesman was shocked. A student with stacks of cash buying a car? Tob simply smiled and said he made money selling weapons. Soon, he became well known at school, arriving in his own car every day. He even told his girlfriend that she was the only one allowed to ride in it. But one evening, when he returned home, his parents were waiting. They didn't believe that gaming could earn real money and assumed he was gambling. His father warned him to stop playing and focus on school like his siblings. After they left the room, Tob picked up a book, placed it under his mouse, and continued playing, choosing games over grades. As expected, his exam results were poor. Still, he didn't care. Instead, he told his parents he found a private university that didn't require high scores, trying to cover up the truth. But his father refused, saying they were in financial trouble and he should only attend a government university. That day got worse when Tob discovered his game account had been deleted, banned for being used commercially. The next day, Tob used the last of his savings to buy cheap DVD players from an electronics store, hoping to resell them. But when he showed them to his mom, she pointed out they were junk. And here came a hard truth. Chinese made is Chinese made. He tried to return them, but the store had a no-refund policy. He walked out stuck with broken products and no cash. On his way home, he picked up his father, who was walking back from work. His father quietly handed him tuition money and said, "Welcome to the real world." Tob refused it, thinking his father had no faith in him. But that night, Tob took his father's amulet locket, pawned it, and got 100,000 baht. With this, he entered university. Still, the lessons didn't interest him. Instead of going to class, he asked a friend to record lectures while he went to see his girlfriend, who was preparing for a performance. But she turned him down, saying she had rehearsal. Feeling lonely and hungry, he wandered into town and came across a trade fair. He sampled some free food, filling his empty stomach, then explored the fair until something caught his eye. A chestnut roasting machine. He bought it on the spot and brought it home, excited. But once again, his father scolded him, saying the same machine could have been found locally for much less. Still, Tob wasn't discouraged. He left school behind and started learning how to roast sweet chestnuts at the market instead of attending lectures. There, he discovered that floating chestnuts didn't work well, and market vendors used small stones to help control the heat. Tob tried many times, failing at first. But eventually, he got the taste just right, so good in fact, that a bag of his chestnuts ended up on his father's work desk. And so, Tob launched his chestnut business with his uncle at a mall. But things didn't go as expected. The chestnuts weren't selling. One day, while hanging out with his girlfriend at a busy market, Tob noticed something. The vendors were attracting customers with small gifts and promotions. That gave him ideas. Then he saw a charity group collecting change near a restroom and realized something even more valuable. Location matters. He rushed back to the mall and requested a better spot for his stall. And during an exam not long after, his phone wouldn't stop ringing. Finally, Tob stepped out, ignoring the test completely. Turns out, it was worth it. His chestnuts were selling fast. Encouraged, he opened more stalls. But success brought new problems. The smoke from his chestnut stands began to stain the mall's ceiling. The manager demanded he relocate. Tob tried to fix it himself, staying until closing time, painting the ceiling white. But security caught him. He even tried bribing the guard to let him finish the job. Instead, the guard scolded him and turned to his mom, asking her to give him a lecture. Later, his mother revealed the truth. They were broke, in debt to the bank. Next month, the family would move to China to work with Tob's siblings. On the day of departure, Tob made a choice. He stayed behind, saying he wanted to finish school. His father told him one more time to leave the chestnuts behind. Tob just nodded. Things only got worse. Although he repainted the ceiling, the mall eventually expelled him. His paint had damaged a nearby shop. He was devastated. The next morning, as he wandered with no direction, he ran into his girlfriend by chance. She pushed him away, thinking he had ghosted her, unaware of everything he was going through. He didn't say a word, just hugged her. Later, she softened, told him to come back to class. He stayed quiet until he noticed something. She had brought seaweed snacks. He took a bite, and just like that, the idea hit him. Maybe seaweed could be the next chestnut. But this time, he didn't know how to make it. So he started by reselling. The problem? The seaweed spoiled after 3 days. When he called the wholesaler for help, no one answered. Desperate, Tob went to the university's groceries department and pleaded with a professor for help. He told him his story, his mistakes, his struggles, everything. Moved, the professor offered to help. She explained the basics of food packaging. Fried snacks spoil because of oxygen, so you need to remove it. And to preserve taste, you fill the pack with nitrogen. That was the first step. Tob decided to stop reselling and make his own. He bought stacks of raw seaweed and asked his uncle to help him experiment with frying techniques. But the process was brutal. Batch after batch came out wrong. Too oily, too soft, or not crispy enough. The process was exhausting, and the money kept draining away. Tob's uncle, feeling guilty for the failed experiments, gently urged him to stop. But Tob wouldn't quit. He even sold his computer to buy more seaweed. One day, Tob came home and found his uncle collapsed in the rain. He panicked and rushed him to the hospital. Thankfully, his uncle was okay. While his uncle rested, Tob kept trying on his own. One final pack of seaweed remained, slightly damp. He threw it into the fryer, and something changed. The texture, the crisp. It was different. It was perfect. When Tob visited his uncle in the hospital, he confidently handed him a taste. His uncle's eyes lit up. How did you fry this? Finally, a breakthrough. They started selling their seaweed again. This time it worked. It really worked. Tob ran the numbers and realized they might make 1 million baht in a year. Filled with hope, he called his father and asked, "How much is our debt?" His father replied quietly, "Over 40 million baht." And just like that, the hope faded. When Tob gets home, his house is already seized by the bank. With nowhere left to go, he quietly sneaks in and gathers what belongings he can. That night, he listens to his recorded university lessons while heading to a nearby mini-mart to grab a snack. The voice in the lesson says something that sticks in his mind. The key to product success is knowing your local market and building value through local distributors. Those words hit deep. He turns back and looks at the mini-mart differently now. The next day, he makes an appointment with Pooh, the executive in charge of 7-Eleven stores, hoping to introduce his seaweed product. While waiting in the lobby, he notices another man rehearsing nervously before his pitch. Curious and quick to learn, Tob heads to the restroom to practice in front of the mirror himself. When it's finally his turn, he walks in confidently. But Pooh quickly points out that his packaging doesn't meet retail standards. Wrong size, wrong design. Rejected. But now Tob knows what he's lacking. So he heads to a packaging shop and demands a redesign, asking for something catchy, inspired by K-pop trends. When he gets home, his girlfriend is waiting. She already knows everything Tob has gone through. She offers to help, gently reminding him again to return to class. But Tob, tired and feeling misunderstood, snaps. He accuses her of not believing in him and breaks up with her. That night, curled beside his uncle, Tob quietly cries, knowing he pushed away the one person still standing by him. Days later, Tob returns to Pooh's office, this time without an appointment. The receptionist says she's in meetings all day. Tob waits and waits until evening. He knows she's not in meetings. Finally, out of patience, he leaves a box of his redesigned seaweed with a security guard. Moments later, Pooh walks by and sees her staff enjoying something. Curious, she picks up a seaweed pack, Tob's new version. Just like that, Tao Kei Noi is accepted by 7-Eleven. But success demands more. Before distribution, Tob is told he must build a certified factory, one that can pass a sanitary inspection in just 1 month. Faced with the deadline, he looks around his tiny kitchen, wondering how he'll ever find the money to make it happen. So he goes to the bank and explains his story. We return to that opening scene. The banker, impressed by this 19-year-old's journey, still turns him down. Tob's too young. His parents are bankrupt and overseas. The bank's rules are strict. Broken again, Tob almost gives up. He sells his car, buys a plane ticket to China, and heads to the pawn shop, hoping to get back his father's amulet. But the shopkeeper says it's now worth over 1,000,000 baht and refuses. When Tob tries to take it, he's met with a gun. That's when something shifts inside him. Tob decides to build the factory anyway, without permission, inside his father's old warehouse. He renovates it using credit, scraps, and whatever he can borrow. He hires a small team. They work nonstop. Then inspection day arrives. Pooh and the inspector walk through the factory. The pipes leak. The lights don't have covers. The sink has no foot pedal. It's not up to code. Tob's uncle, quietly watching, slips him an envelope full of cash to offer as a bribe. Tob hesitates. He remembers how his mother once got scolded for trying to bribe a mall guard. This time, he refuses. His uncle nods. You've already done your best. The inspection ends. Tob doesn't wait for the results. Instead, they fix every issue and continue production. A few days later, the result arrives by fax. But the ink runs out. The paper's blank. His uncle suggests holding it under the sun. Tob rushes outside, raises the paper to the light, and sees it clearly. They passed. Finally, Tob makes his first official delivery to 7-Eleven. Before he leaves, he hugs his uncle tightly, the one person who never gave up on him. After the successful delivery, Tob makes a long-awaited phone call. This time, with a steady voice, he tells his parents, "You can come home now." After everything, he finally has something to show them. The boy they doubted became the man they respect. This is the true story of Thailand's youngest billionaire, Ithapat Piradekapan, also known as Tob, the creator of Tao Kay Noi. So, what do you think was the key to his success? If you enjoyed this recap, I'm really glad it was worth your time.